We're going to go through some other tools right now. The first one that we're going to install here is going to help us keep high code quality. One of them is going to be prettier. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say down here is I'm going to say npm install -D, which is going to mean it's the developer dependencies, right? So when I'm deploying my code to production, I don't need to have prettier go with it. This is just for me on my local environment. So, and I'm going to put prettier like that. Now you can say npm install like this. Again, I'm a lazy person, so I like to type less, so I'm going to put npm I-D like that. Okay, so now if you look back at my package.json, you'll see here that I have dev dependencies, and it has now pegged prettier at 1.17. Yours might be different if you're doing this in the future, but it's a relatively stable project, so you can go ahead and do that. So now I have prettier installed, and prettier is going to do things where like I can format my project consistently, right? I'm sure many of you have worked on projects where some files have tabs, some of them have spaces, some of them have trailing commas, some of them don't, so on and so forth. So prettier is a project that kind of just takes all the conversation out of that and just standardizes on a format. Now I recognize for some people, like they don't want to let go of their format because it's the best one and they thought of it first, and we should all use their format because they're much smarter than us, right? We all know that person and none of us like them. So what prettier does is it just takes away the whole conversation. It's like, no, everyone's going to use the exact same formatting and we're all stuck with it, and it's all slightly different than we would have chosen it, but we're all on the same format. It's actually one of my favorite tools because I actually really don't care what my code looks like as long as it's well formatted, right? As long as it has a format that's consistent, I don't care. And the great thing about prettier is it just does it for you. So you've probably noticed that like I've just like been messing around with all this code and doing stuff like this where it's like super gross and everything's on the wrong line and stuff like that, right? Like reading this kind of code makes you a little sick, doesn't it? But with prettier, if I just do this, it just fixes everything for me and I never have to think about this, right? I've now introduced it at every company that I've worked at, and I will continue doing it to every company that I will work at.